This is the Copernicus. We come in peace. This is the Copernicus. We come in peace.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
And this is
We Are All Kosh.
a Babylon 5 podcast. Honey, I don't think you should ever have to worry about how clicky your mouth is ever again, because this was a thing that was broadcast on television, and that woman's mouth sounded like Pop Rocks.
Cool.
Click, 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 click. All I could hear was the click, click. I was like, someone get this woman some water. Can someone maybe they dry up too. Maybe your spit, just like your tear ducts. You just dry out like a sponge.
It was just a side effect of the hibernation.
Cotton mouth all the whole time. No one got her a drink of water because Dr. Franklin was too busy trying to not fuck her.
I mean, he wasn't trying that hard.
Yeah. And then he missed his chance. He's got to feel like, God damn it. Anyway, season 2, episode 5, The Long Dark. That's what we're talking about, Babylon 5. This originally aired the 30th of November, 1994.
All right. Getting close to the end of 94.
I know. It was written by Scott Frost. This is his only Babylon 5 episode. He didn't write any others.
Okay.
He did write a couple episodes of Andromeda, a.k.a. Hercules in Space.
Yeah.
Notable only because He Who Must Not Be Named is in it. And so is Tracy from Forever Night.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why you watched it.
It's not why I watched it. I also had a really big crush on Kevin Sorbo, and I don't really want to talk about it. Listen, we all make mistakes when we're younger, okay? Luckily, we all move past them. I liked him in Hercules.
Yeah.
Because I liked Hercules. And then Hercules had a crossover with Xena, and I was like, well, I'm that now. And so I went with Xena, and I don't think I ever watched Hercules ever again. Anyway, if that redeemed
That's
me,
probably
guys,
how it went for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I was reading an interesting thing. It didn't really come to any conclusions. It was just a statement. And I thought it was a really, thought-provoking statement, which was Xena looked so strong and powerful.
Yeah.
And Lucy Lawless is not buff.
Right.
At all.
Just
She's
projected
just
that.
like a medium-sized. She's not thin. She's not big. She's just like an average-sized woman who they put in leather, and all of a sudden you were like, yeah, she could beat the shit out of me. Yep. And I think it's just the way she carried herself.
Yeah. Yeah,
all
because you
props
see
to
her
Lucy
in
Lawless.
Parks and Rec.
Everything she's in, you're like, she could kill a man.
Yeah. It's just her posture.
It's yeah. Maybe it's like my walk, like when my business walk. Yeah. But it could be. I don't know. I just was like, oh, that's a really good point, because now we really lean into the everybody has to be rough,
actually muscled,
buff. Yeah. And she was just like, yeah, I could kill you. And you're like, I believe you. Yeah. Absolutely. What else did he do? Oh, he directed an episode of 90s Flipper, which I totally forgot they tried to reboot Flipper.
No. Oh, Flipper the Dolphin.
Yeah, Flipper the Dolphin.
Oh.
Yeah, they tried to bring it back in the 90s, and everyone's like, yeah, that doesn't still work, I don't think. Yeah, no. No. And then he directed 2 episodes of Twin Peaks and nothing else. A couple other things, but not anything of not of note, but he didn't have a big career. It was directed by Mario DiLeo, DiLeo. DiLeo? DiLeo?
What's your dealio?
He would go on to direct 3 more episodes in 1995. Most of his credits actually are for cinematographer, although he did direct an episode of Xena. So there we go. That's my tie-in. I thought that was interesting. They hired a guy who mostly did cinematography. Although someone mentioned that the only other thing that this guy, Scott Frost, had written more than one episode of was Twin Peaks, and this kind of plays like a Twin Peaks episode.
There's the things that stood out to me were we had quite a few really short. We would cut to something that only lasted a few seconds, and a lot of them had no lines. And then you'd cut somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then the person in that cut, the little silent cut, would show up in like the next scene. And we had multiple of these long, slow kind of speeches, just like one person talking.
Revealing backstory.
For like 60 seconds straight.
Yeah.
At a very slow pace.
Yeah, interspersed with like and then back. And the guide that I look at, the recorded for posterity forum that I look through for each episode, had a thing that said, keep an eye out for an out-of-place clip of Garibaldi looking for Amos.
Okay.
And nothing stood out to me as he wouldn't be looking for Amos in that moment. There's a part at the very end after he's clearly found Amos and they've used Amos's ability to sense the creature to go to find it in the reactor, of course. And that happens off screen. They find it off screen. Conflict happens off screen. And then we're like, oh shit's happening. And when they go down there and they're like, Garibaldi dragged these guys out and then he went back in. And then we get a clip of Garibaldi looking for Amos. When ostensibly he would have gone down there with Amos, but my interpretation was just that Amos had run off, Garibaldi had dragged those people out, and then he was going back in to try to find Amos again. Yeah, it wasn't
my interpretation.
It didn't feel out of place to me. I don't know. Maybe that's not the clip they're talking about. So Anne Marie Johnson is the lady who plays Mariah Cyrus. She has a lot of episodes of television under her belt. She was in 66 episodes of What's Happening Now? With an exclamation mark. From 85 to 88. She was in 118 episodes of In the Heat of the Night from 88 to 93. She was in 18 episodes of the original Jag television show, which my dad loved. And like a bunch of other stuff. In Living Color. And so she has...
Yeah, she's a recognizable face.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. But she's been in a lot. Dwight Schultz, which you clocked immediately.
Oh, my favorite Star Trek character.
That was like
Reginald Barclay.
Barclay. There's a Star Trek character I'll mention. Yeah. Barclay. He has done, and I shit you not, like every single video game ever made. I was looking through his thing, like trying to figure out what else he'd been in as an actor. I mean, as like a physical actor.
Right.
Instead of just not just a, but you know where I'm going with this, where you could see his face.
Yeah.
And I had to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. And even when he was in Star Trek, he was doing video game voices. He was an additional voices character on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Wow.
He was a character.
So he's still working.
Yeah, he was a character in the original Final Fantasy VII English
remake.
Dub. No, the first one.
Did they have voices in?
I guess.
The 90.
Maybe they shouted in the background or something. I don't know. I just know he was credited. And then there was, you know what? It might have been the redo when they remade it because the date was off. It was Final Fantasy VII, the original, but it was from like 2012. Maybe when they remastered it, they added voices.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He did Skyrim. He was in...
Everyone did Skyrim.
All the Mass Effect, at least 2 of them. He was a voice in Final Fantasy XII, my personal favorite Final Fantasy game. He was also in the 90s Flipper, which I was like, oh, look at that. A connection. Of course, he was Barclay in Star Trek The Next Generation, but he was also Captain H.M. Howling Mad Murdoch in the A-Team, the OG A-Team.
That's right.
Yeah, and he had a cameo in the movie, which I think is criminally underrated. I fucking loved the movie with Liam Neeson.
Yep.
And he has a cameo as a doctor, because they all did. Every one of the original people who were still alive had a cameo.
Yeah.
Jennifer Anglin, who plays Alien Number 1. I don't know what they meant by that. Also played the captain of the Tragati. That's why I mentioned her.
Okay.
Remember I talked about, they said they had like a silo of people that they had a head cast of?
Right.
So they could just bring them back anytime they needed a random alien. Neil Bradley, who was alien number 2, which I'm pretty sure is the guy with the red prosthetic who talked in the council chambers, because I recognized his voice. He was also a purple Drazi from just like a couple episodes ago. And Kim Strauss, the Marcab ambassador, who might have been the one I just mentioned, anyway, was a green Drazi. So 2 of the Drazis that we just saw just popped back up as new aliens. I'm going to read a couple of things that I found on the forum that were not spoken by JMS, because people put a lot of work into this, and I want to represent the fans of the past who do what we do, which is break shit down in a way it's never supposed to be broken down.
The Honored Dead.
Yeah.
The Honored Dead Forum.
Yes, yeah. And it's how fast and how far did Copernicus travel? So this one is more difficult. The minimum answer is 25 light years and 0.25 c, so quarter of the speed of light.
Right.
The distance between the Sol system and Babylon 5 seems to be about 25 light years, and this is the minimum distance Copernicus had to cover. To cover 25 light years in 100 plus years, Copernicus had to travel at 1/4 c on average.
Right.
Typical prediction for nuclear engines driving speeds to low relativistic speeds say that it takes between 10 and 40 tons of reaction mass / fuel per ton of dry weight to accelerate a ship to low C, say 1/10 to 1/4 C, more or less, and decelerate it again. So either the ship we saw was the core of a much larger ship and all the empty tanks were ejected, or it's made of very light materials, or both. So they were like, the amount of fuel required to travel the distance they think it traveled.
To get up to the speed that it would have to travel at.
Is cray-cray. Like, that was the breakdown of that. I thought that was really funny. I was like, somebody was like, okay, guys, let's break this down. Could a ship shaped like that?
I mean, I remember, I have an idea of the math you'd have to use to calculate that from my like relativistic physics classes. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like, how much energy would it take? What mass would be required to produce that amount of energy?
Yeah, because we don't know if it traveled in a straight line or if it went out.
You'd have to put some calculus in there because the more energy you need to produce, the more mass you need to have, but then that increases the amount of energy to get the delta V.
The closer you get to C, the higher your mass becomes, right?
Well, yeah, that's part of it. But also, even just for conventional rockets, you have to throw some calculus in for fuel calculations, because the mass of the fuel itself increases the amount of fuel you need.
Yes, that makes sense.
And it just kind of...
We don't know how winding... We don't know if they went straight from Earth to Babylon 5 or if it went past Babylon 5 and then came back.
Yeah.
We don't know, because we know it changed course after it encountered the alien.
So it had to have some type of substantial thrust system.
Yeah, in order to change course.
In order to change its course.
Right. And presumably that used the remaining fuel because it doesn't even have enough to keep itself from spinning when it comes back towards Babylon 5.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you, long ago person on the forum, for being like, let me talk about this because I want to talk about this. It's a thing I personally wouldn't think about. Like, could a ship, because you just think, oh, it launched, it went in a straight line, but we know from dialogue it didn't go in a straight line. So it had to have a fuel source, and then it had to have enough power to continue running the life pods. Was it generating power from the fuel, or did it have a separate power generation?
And you can do some cool stuff, like slingshot maneuvers around large celestial objects. Like Voyager did, I think, multiple slingshots on its way out of the solar system.
Yeah.
Where it swings all the way around a planet and steals a tiny bit of momentum from the planet and can really speed itself up.
They do that in Star Trek all the time.
Yeah.
We're going to slingshot around the planet. Somehow they always end up going back in space.
Somebody who's done orbital mechanics stuff, it's like, okay, like here's easy.
Don't they do that in
Easy
The Martian?
maneuver.
That's how they get enough momentum to head back.
Yeah, I think they do a slingshot around Earth
Yeah.
to head back to Mars.
Yep. Beyond that, the only other comments that JMS had were they were disappointed in how the CG turned out at the very end where they're destroying the creature.
Yeah, I can see.
He said, we're trying to do new things, and sometimes it works out great,
Yeah.
and sometimes it
I
doesn't.
thought it
and I
worked
was like,
out fairly well.
okay, like that, great, fine. I'm fine with it. I think it would have been worse as a puppet, so like go off, do the
Yeah.
CG, no problem, man.
Yeah.
And also that apparently he was getting a lot of criticism for Sheridan, maybe similar to the criticism that we ramped up exponentially last episode, where they were saying that he was too smiley and he smirked too much and did too much giggling. And I was like, wow, what a criticism to be like,
Right?
he's too fucking happy. He's just too happy. It can't be a real character. He's too happy. And he was like, okay, so I want to go back and tell everybody that if you review the forums from when it started back in episode 1, season 1, right? You guys were mad at how happy Sheridan or how happy Sinclair was too. So, fuck you. I don't care. And then also he said, there are really two ways to deepen a character and give him a dark side. One is to do something to him before you meet him, which he is still recovering from, a la Sinclair. The other way is to meet him and then drop him down a well.
Yeah.
He's like, and that's basically what I'm doing. He's like, he's just gonna get shit on, and don't worry, he'll get darker the more he gets attacked and depressed. So don't worry, guys, it's gonna get better because it's gonna get worse for Sheridan. But that's really all that. I mean, he didn't have anything else to say, probably because he didn't write this one. So it's kind of like he did make a mistake in the forum, which I thought was really interesting. And there was a future note that was like, he said this, he meant that, where he called Copernicus the Cortez.
Oh,
and so
okay.
there was like an editor's note that was like, note, JMS here refers to the Cortez, but he means the Copernicus. And I was like, oh, they even copied his typos. That's really cute. Like, I really like that.
Yeah.
So when the episode begins, a ship comes out of space, but not out of the jump gate. It's basically just Ivanova being like, hey, John, check out this shit. He's like,
where'd this thing come from?
oh, is something coming out of the jump gate? She's like, nah, dog. And she puts it on the radio.
On the screen.
I can't even think of the name for it. The comm. And it's like, this is the Copernicus. We come in peace over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, that's cool. And then we go down to Down Below, which we do get the general feeling of everybody for the lurkers in this episode, which I find is interesting. Garibaldi is indulgent but suspicious. Dr. Franklin is outright dismissive. And then one of Garibaldi's aides, guards, whatever, is actively hostile.
Yeah.
So you get the sense that lurkers are a contentious issue on Babylon 5, which I really enjoyed as like a deepening of the world of Babylon 5. Because this guy is like rummaging through stuff. There's stuff happening. And then Barkley pops out of some trash. He's like, they're coming. It's coming.
Yeah, Doomsday. And he's such a good actor.
Oh, he's so good at this. He does such a good. He could have been so ridiculous. This could have been another Grail where we got the lurker guy who was supposed to be, and you're like, is he supposed to be, what am I
Mentally
supposed to,
challenged?
is he supposed to be having a hard time understanding what's happening to him? Or is like, what am I supposed to be reading from this? I don't have that ambiguity with, his name is Amos, but I'm probably going to call him Barkley at least once.
Oh, on my entire notes, I call him Reginald.
Doesn't somebody
Well,
call
we
him
don't find out
Broccoli?
his name until much later.
Way later.
Yeah.
Way later. I only knew because I looked it up when I looked up all the actors.
The same thing
and
with
it had his
Mariah.
Amos. And it's Amis.
Yeah.
Amos. Yeah. He's like, I need some ozones. And he pulls some, I guess they're supposed to be drugs, out of his pocket. And he's like, nope, don't have any. I'm all out. And my favorite part about this whole scene is that it's supposed to be like trash or like stuff that people have gathered and collected in Down Below for resources. And behind him is just a roll of radiant barrier. Like they went to Home Depot and bought a roll of silver stuff.
Hey, you don't change a technology if you're not improving it. And it's already Perfect.
Which means I could recreate this set from the contents of our garage. I'm sure we have at least one roll of radiant barrier.
Not here.
Oh, have we finally used all the radiant barrier?
I know, and I left it in storage in North Carolina.
Okay. And my other favorite part is he like hops up and he shuffles aside some trash and there's a straight up fucking window to outside.
Yeah.
He's like, where are you? Where are you? And he goes, there you are. And he looks out a window, which I guess answers the question of where are the lurkers on the ship? And they're on the outermost ring,
right.
The most vulnerable ring. He's like, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, because he's being attacked by demons, essentially.
Yeah, he's under psychic assault.
And he goes, on earth as it is in space. And then he just goes, Hail Mary, and then he runs off.
I'm pretty sure he was ad-libbing.
I hope so. I love the like, ah! Just takes off running down the hallway. This is going to be fine. This is going to be totally fine.
Yeah.
And then we go to the intro. And the only thing I want to mention about the intro this time is I noticed that in the Garibaldi face card, in the background, it looks like he has sushi pillows. They're like stacked up. They look like some of the sushi pillows that our daughter has, the like fluffy sushi stuffies. Mm-hmm. I know they're not, but now that I've seen it, that's all I'm going to be able to see every time I look at his title card. So gotta keep an eye out for that.
He's got sushi pillows.
He's got sushi pillows. Maybe he really likes sushi. I feel like sushi was not a thing in the 90s, though. Not as ubiquitous as it is now.
Knew.
Did he know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
another JMS prophecy.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then we come back and we see the ship flying through space. Going, this is the Copernicus, we've come in peace. And my only note is they send out a droid to catch it, which means there's an unmanned thing that can catch these things. Why did we send anybody out ever to grappling hook it?
Okay, hold on.
When a droid could grapple hook it.
Oh, you mean Sinclair grapple hooking?
Yeah.
Well, and Sinclair had a death wish.
He was like,
and
throw me the space tongs. I got this.
He needed his space time.
Look, he was already damaged.
Yeah, sometimes
Sheridan's not.
Sometimes you just need space.
I can't with you right now. Please don't.
And he needed time in the cockpit.
Just know that there was a way to do this without putting anybody in danger.
Okay.
They opted. Maybe it was not as traveling as fast as the Soul Hunter pod.
Scientific criticism.
Okay.
If it had to be traveling at a 1/4 C to make it from Earth to Babylon 5 in 100 years, how did the droid slow it down from 1/4 the speed of light?
Well, okay. So theoretically speaking, when it detected the beacon, it could have calculated the distance and then programmed itself to slow down enough that it would not...
That's right. It was slowing itself down.
Yeah, it wasn't
because it detected Babylon 5
It wasn't
signal.
just traveling in the direction of
That's
Babylon
right.
5. It was going to Babylon 5 intentionally. So one can assume part of the programming would be to not ram into the thing that you are trying to go to. So it would have slowed itself down.
On the topic of the weight of fuel,
Okay.
there are engines for space that do not involve like combustion or there's a name for the kind of engine where you are, well, I guess basically all thrust in space is you take something
And you throw it in the other direction.
throw it really fast in
Yeah.
one direction or the other. And that can be gas from like rocket fuel
Yeah.
shooting out really fast and expanding. Or you can have ion engines where you speed up like just loose electrons, whatever. And
That's what they use in The Martian. And it takes a really long time to come
takes
up
a
to
really
speed.
long time.
Yeah.
But you can just use solar energy to speed up these electrons,
Right. Because you're not
these charged
you're
particles,
not
and
fighting
throw
an
them out.
opposing force.
Right.
So acceleration can be continuous.
Yeah, it's just accumulating momentum over years. And on the idea of this ship being really lightweight and it doesn't need to carry a lot of fuel because it's just throwing out charged particles over a very long period of time to make a big change in speed.
Yeah.
Over like 20 years or 50 years or whatever.
Which it cannot be it cannot have been going to Babylon 5 that long because Babylon 5 has only been there for a couple of years.
But there have been Babylon stations in this sector.
Not this sector. Close enough.
Babylon 4 was pretty close.
Within 10 hours of normal space. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
over the vastness of space, that's basically neighbors.
Yeah. It could have even detected like when they built the jump gate before they even built any of the Babylon stations.
Yeah.
And so it could have been slowing down for 10, 20 years.
Okay.
Not 10 years. I guess less than 10 years.
Yeah. It's been slowing down for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah.
And thank goodness as otherwise.
And it was going slow enough that a little unmanned bot could slow it down.
And, hey, guy, they could send out automated space tongs. Just go grab that. Maybe they sent that after they got the report on the Soul Hunter thing, and they were like...
They're like, Sinclair went out and grappled it? God damn it, Sinclair.
We're sending you a drone. We're sending you a drone. Please don't do that again.
We'll find the money to pay for it.
A big
Just
fucking
keep your
net,
commander
okay?
safe. God damn it.
God damn it. But after that outside scene, we come back to the Zocalo, and it is...
And Reginald's back.
Yeah, he's having a moment in the Zocalo, which they call... He calls it something else. Garibaldi calls it something else. We're going to get there. The Plaza. He calls it the Plaza. Yeah. And I want to make another note that JMS mentioned that I didn't mention at first, but I will mention here, is that they are apparently intentionally, slowly darkening Londo's color scheme.
Interesting.
Where Londo used to have far brighter purples, now his purple is a lot more subdued. And he was like, the number of meetings we've had about this is ridiculous. Because they're
the costume people care.
Slowly transitioning his costumes to be more in line with what we've seen other Centauri looking like. Almost as if he is trying to be fit in. Yeah, be more conforming. But this is the line I liked. He's like, "Hear me, O Lord, and the rest of you miserable sinners and non-humanoid types, differentiating sinners from people who are not humanoid." So maybe you can't be a sinner if
you
are not
can't
an
be
alien,
a sinner from the perspective of Christianity.
Yeah, right, because we're made in God's image. So that's only human God, which means if you're alien, you can do whatever the fuck you want. That doesn't matter.
Morally, as far as Christians are concerned.
Because it does not apply. I thought that was an interesting distinction. He's like, Judgment Day is coming.
Oh, wait. Non-humanoids. Maybe if you have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head with 2 eyes and a mouth, you're humanoid. You are subject to the Christian.
So basically not Negrath, because everybody else is more or less humanoid by that description. Yeah. So Negrath, I guess, is not sinning because Negrath is not humanoid.
That's why he was able to get away with what he was doing for so long.
And he's like, an army of darkness, soldiers of the devil, something like that anyway. We're all in danger. A pox is upon us. And then he sees Jakar walk by and he goes, "You!" And he jumps down and he says, "A sound tree cannot bear evil fruit unless it's got bad roots."
You! A sound tree cannot bear evil fruit unless it's got bad roots.
Oh, please, don't I have troubles enough?
I have walked in the valley of...
Good! Keep on walking.
I really liked that line.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Midnight episode of Doctor Who. We do not, something goblin men, we do not eat their fruits. We do not know on what they fed their dirty, thirsty roots or whatever. I thought that was that's a cool line. A sound tree cannot bear evil fruit unless it's got bad roots. And he says it directly to Jakar's face. Like,
Poor Jakar.
Bad things can't be happening to you unless there's something bad going on. in all of this? And Jakar goes, "Oh, please, don't I have troubles enough?" And he goes, Barkley goes, "I have walked through the valley." And he goes, "Good, keep on walking." And then Londo shouts, "Hurry, Ambassador, he's gaining." And Amos / Barkley spins around.
You with the hair.
You with the hair. He just goes, "Oh, geez, police." And he starts to walk away. And this is when Garibaldi shows up and he says, "Unless you have a Class C missionary license," is that a thing? Is that a thing? Can you apply? Do you have to apply? Do you have to have a license to go and be a missionary? I love that. I love that because that way people can't just ship off to like Mimbar and be like, "We're going to convert the Mimbari."
Probably because this is technically a military outpost.
Maybe here, but maybe everywhere. Maybe you have to have a missionary license for everywhere because
I'm thinking,
you could inadvertently start a war.
Right. It could be like a cultural containment thing.
Yeah. Yeah, to keep anybody from trying to make
Zealots.
other planets great again, I guess. God, that would be amazing if you had to apply and be like, "Do you have enough understanding of the indigenous culture to know that you're not causing harm by going?"
Mm-hmm.
There's something there. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think I've got it. Anyway, Garibaldi's like, "Come on, buddy. It's time for a little bit of a lay down." Like he's like, "You can't. It's coming." Garibaldi's like, "Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hear
got you,
buddy.
you. I love how sympathetic Garibaldi is to the Amos character.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone else is dismissive, outright hostile.
Right.
And Garibaldi's like, "Okay, but you don't know what this guy's been. You don't know what this guy's been through.
Right.
You didn't even look him up. You don't even know who he is. You just dismissed him because of the way he looks and where he lives." And that's not how he's going to roll. Yeah, it's a problem. And luckily Garibaldi listens to him because Amos is the only reason that we catch anything at all. Because Mariah isn't going to even tell anyone.
That she can feel, that she has nightmares of a thing.
Yeah.
And she can feel it.
Only when she's directly confronted is she like, "Okay, yeah, I guess maybe I think there was something in there with me."
Right. Yeah. Yep.
It's fine.
Once again, Reginald saves the day.
I know. Doesn't somebody call him Broccoli? Is that like a... Did I make that up? No, in Star Trek. I think somebody's making fun of him and they call him Broccoli. Yeah. I just remember he's in the whole plot line where he's making friends with everybody on the holodeck.
That's such a wild episode.
And he's like the hero to them on the holodeck. And they're like, you can't do that. And he's like, "But it's fine. It's just on the holodeck.
It's not real."
It's not real. Poor Barkley. This is when we go up to the command center or wherever. Garibaldi and Sheridan and Ivanova are all hanging out. And they're like, "Do we have any idea where this thing is from?" And they're like, "Well, we're trying to identify the design wherever it's been. It's really taking a beating. Why didn't it use the jump gate?" And they're like, "I don't know."
I don't know.
And this is when we go out and they're scanning down the side of the ship and they scan across Copernicus. And they're like, "Wow, those look like ladders."
It's English.
Do they? And Sheridan goes, "It should say USS." And they're like, "Wait a minute, Earth? But I've never seen this design before." And he goes, "Then check your history." Ships like this were used in deep range exploration back before we got jump gate technology from the Centauri. We're learning so much.
Woo!
We didn't develop it.
Background.
The Centauri. What did we give the Centauri in exchange? You know, they weren't just like, "Here, out of the goodness of our hearts."
Right. Slit my wrists.
Exactly. And that was over 100 years ago. What's it doing here? And this is when Sheridan's like, "Well, things were pretty primitive back there. Could have missed a thruster firing, gone off course. It's probably been adrift ever since. Oh, wait a minute. What if it didn't take a wrong turn?" Ah! And Ivanova just goes, "Why don't we ask the pilot?" Because she scanned the ship and there's somebody alive on the ship. And so they make the longitudinal decision, one might say, not hasty decision, to bring the whole ship in.
Well, because they detect a life sign.
You could have gone to the ship. You don't know where it came from. You don't know who's on it. You don't know if it's carrying disease. You don't know anything about it.
Right.
And you're just like,
they
bring it in and crack that shit open.
Right. They could have just
like a potentially toxic walnut.
kept a quarantine in Docking Bay. What, Docking Bay 4?
Wherever. Yeah. They could have left it outside the ship and gone to it. And just, there's an airlock docked against the airlock. Or docked on it, cut through the hull and gone in it in spacesuits.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it wouldn't have mattered because the thing would have just jumped into whatever they took out there. But it's fine. JMS actually addressed this. And he was like, are you telling me if you found a pirate ship from the 1800s just floating on the sea, you wouldn't be dying to go on it? It's not the same thing, JMS.
Right.
No evil demon ocean ghosts have jumped on it.
If you found a pirate ship and then you found life signs on the abandoned pirate ship.
There was a living pirate on the ship. I still wouldn't go on it because I'd be like, I don't fucking know what that's some JV Jones shit. I'm not going on there. No way. I am curious enough to know that curiosity can absolutely get you killed. And so maybe take a step back sometimes. I don't know. But they call Dr. Franklin. They're like, oh boy, have we got something for you. Come to Docking Bay 4. And he dropped his one patient, literally. Ran off. And all I put in my notes for that is, didn't Sheridan read the memos? Call any other med lab. Get any other doctor.
Oh, no. He did read the memos. And that's why later he's like, yeah, I want somebody watching her 24/7. That's not you.
I know. He doesn't even acknowledge that Dr. Franklin is an option. He's like, can we get someone else, anyone else to watch her and him? So they go in and there's 2 cryogenic freezers. They look like every cryogenic freezer from every
hibernation / stasis chamber.
And Ivanova's like, oh, I've seen these at the Air and Space Museum. Nice to know the Smithsonian's still around, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like, let's see if anybody's home. Which I was like, why is there frost on the outside? I'm glad we had the same thought. I was like, wait a minute. That means there's moisture in the air, I guess. In the spaceship, which means they're in cryostasis and there's atmosphere in the ship.
Yeah.
Which means it's maintaining atmosphere.
Right. And later they say that when the thing got on board, it lost 10% of its oxygen.
After Barclay says it can just pass through walls. It can use gaseous form, but apparently not this one moment.
It needs a pinhole.
Okay.
Or when it changes the material so that it can pass through, gas from the other side can get out.
Right. On the forums, they speculated it had opened the door or cut a hole. And I was like, if you open the door or cut a hole, you're going to lose a hell of a lot more than 10% of your atmosphere.
Right.
That's also part of the Martian. Don't they vent atmosphere to use it
as thrust?
As thrust.
Yep.
Oh, the Martian's just coming up a lot today. Maybe I need to reread it / rewatch it. So they're like, let's see if anybody's home. Which we already covered. And the first one is, I don't know, do I need a medical opinion? Come over here, doctor. Does this one look dead? Because the first one is like desiccated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And he's like, oh, but I've got life signs on this one over here. And they rub it off. And he's like, oh, it's a hot chick. Open it. And so quick. So they just push that shit open. I was like, hang on. You can just, like it's a deep freeze and you need to get a frozen chicken. There's no process to this.
Haven't you ever seen Forever Young with Mel Gibson?
No. Isn't that the one where he flies off in a plane?
No.
Oh.
No, he's part of a government. It starts like Idiocracy.
Okay.
It's like a government or military experiment.
Okay.
To put somebody in stasis. And then the program gets shut down and his capsule gets left behind in a facility that keeps it running.
Okay.
And then a kid finds it and opens it, and this guy comes out and he has he's from like 40 years earlier or something.
Oh, okay. So he's not been asleep for that long.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never seen Forever Young. I'm sorry.
My mom got it.
Oh, I am sure. Your mom has a type that's definitely on the list. But they open it because her life signs are weakening. And they're
Franklin is definitely not making it up.
well, they're like opening. Ivanova says opening the ship must have triggered something, but then we never come back to that. Why would it be programmed so that when you open the door, it kills the occupants of the cryogenic
Well, it's
freezers?
probably way older than they ever thought the ship would last. They probably thought they'd run into some kind of signal sooner than 100 years. And so the stasis, that was my interpretation, was the stasis, the technology on the ship was not functioning at 100% anymore.
You know what old spaceship I think about a lot?
Which one?
That Stargate series where they accidentally jump to that
Oh,
ship that's been
Stargate.
traveling at faster than light for billions of years.
Mm-hmm. I think just millions.
Millions of years.
Millions of years.
Yeah. And everything's failing.
Yeah.
It's so good. I think it was Universe. Was that
Yeah.
Stargate Universe?
That sounds right.
That one
yeah,
was
and
my
they're
favorite.
in a different galaxy, and it's
Yeah.
been dropping Stargates the whole way.
Yeah, but they don't know how to get back from where they are. Yeah, that was good. That's another one where the guy solves the problem in a video game, and then he gets recruited because the video game was an Easter egg. Starfighter. Where the main character's name is Centauri. Anyway, they open it up. I'm losing her pulse. And then a thing flies by. It's like, this demon face ghost thing flies by all of them. And they're like, shit. And they like turn their face to watch it go. And then later, when they're all confronted,
Nobody brings it up.
When they're all confronted with the concept that something was in the thing with her and that it was ghost-like, that it was maybe not corporeal in the way we think of corporeal, they're all like, oh, no.
Impossible.
No. Nope.
It wiped their memory.
No, it didn't. They were just like, They all looked at each other and they're like, we all agree. We saw nothing. We saw nothing. It's just dumb. It's dumb. It's not dumb, but the incredulity with which we all face the concept that there is a thing on the ship is just this side of believable, almost unbelievable. Because you have encountered creatures you don't even know what Kosh looks like. There's things in your day-to-day life.
What happened to Ironheart?
Well, maybe that didn't make it into the
notes.
The notes. Yeah.
The captain's log,
Right.
commander's log.
Just that we have encountered things that are not humanoid. And yet, as soon as they're like, maybe there's a thing and it was in the pod with her, and maybe that's what we saw go when we opened the door, they're all like, oh, no, nope, never. So they take her to med lab. She almost dies. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, and hey, we have other medical staff.
A whole fucking team. And they were ready.
Ready to go.
It wasn't just Dr. Franklin, like fireman carrying her down the hallway,
Right.
sticking needles in her butt, like, stay with me. It was literally someone with a stretcher. Go figure. And it must work because they bring her back. And then we go back to Amos being like, Amos, incoming. He's on his bed, though, so he's having a nightmare.
Right.
And they must have called Garibaldi because he just got there. And Garibaldi's like, how long has he been like this? And I think the guy's name is Hansen. It doesn't really matter. He's in like 4 episodes as Hansen, but he's only in 4 episodes. So, and he's like, oh, I don't know, a couple of hours now. He's like, to the walls, to the walls. He's just having a really hard time. And Hansen goes, damn lurkers. We ought to space
all of them.
How long's it been like that?
A couple hours now.
To the walls! Get to the walls!
Damn lurkers. We had to space all of them.
Oh,
Hanson.
God, stop them! Incoming!
Were you in the war?
No, I missed it.
He didn't.
How do you know?
Incoming!
I've had that same dream.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And Garibaldi goes, okay, Hansen. And he's like, yeah. were you in the war? And he goes, oh, no, I missed it. And Garibaldi goes, yeah, he didn't.
How do you know?
Yeah, because I've had that same dream. Now get the fuck out of here. He doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't directly address the comment, except to say like, yeah, that was tasteless. That was not appropriate because you don't know who these people are. You don't know why they're here. You don't know what led to them being here. So maybe just go, okay? And I love that
this is why police are not crime prevention.
Right.
Social services are crime prevention.
Right.
Because the people who enforce the law tend to end up, or I guess you're kind of self-selecting for the kind of people that want to enforce the law are the kind of people who don't have compassion for what would drive someone to break the law.
Often not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by the nature of the job and the type of people that stick with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the people who are best at being a social worker don't stay social workers because they burn out. And so what you end up with is the people that are bad at their job because they're the only ones that can stand it.
Yep. And so then we have this really short cut to Ivanova in the Copernicus
trying to turn it on,
waking the computers up.
She's flicking the on switch on and off, and then she just goes "Kaboo!" and tries the concussion method and smacks it, and then it turns on, and she's like, "Hell yeah!" The best part of this section is in the background when she's pushing the buttons, or right before it turns on, we get the like sci-fi sound. Mm-hmm. I was like, they had to work that in. And then we come back to Garibaldi talking to Barkley, and this is a good section. This was a good Garibaldi episode because we got a backstory moment for Garibaldi that was not about a failed romance. At this point, the only people spurring him towards character growth are women. So it was really nice to have this be...
You could probably say failed relationship in general.
Yeah. Failed friendship, failed wifing, failed whatever. Like just at this point... That is the primary backstory that we have for Garibaldi.
Yeah. All of his failed relationships.
Right. And this is Amos waking up and being like, oh, okay, what did I do? What'd I do? And Garibaldi's like, you don't remember? And he's like, listen, I've really found that life gets a lot easier if I just forget most of what I've done. Most of the things that happened to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, well, you were about to accuse the Centauri ambassador of being in league with the devil. Which might not be far from the truth.
Foreshadowing.
Womp womp. I love that they work these lines in.
Yeah.
Because there's no way on earth in 1995 that was anything other than a comical aside.
Right.
And then you rewatch it and you're like, holy shit. Really?
Garibaldi
really
was picking up the vibes.
Oh my God.
This far back.
And he's like, oh my God, my head hurts. And Garibaldi's like, oh yeah, we had to put you out. And he goes, oh great. I was that bad. And he goes, yeah, you were standing in the middle of the plaza yelling that the day of judgment was coming. And he just goes, did it? And Garibaldi goes, I mean, not that I know of, but I may have missed a staff meeting.
Another comical aside to camouflage the previous.
I mean, that one's close. That one's close. Is the day of judgment coming? I mean, kind of. Kind of. Yeah. And he's like, have you ever done this before? And this is when he dismisses Hansen. So he must think, okay, this guy's not a threat. And he goes, man, I've done everything before. And Garibaldi's like, okay, well, where were you stationed? And this is when we find out that he was what's called a Gropo or a ground pounder. And they were like planet-based troops during wartime. So instead of being stationed on a station or a ship or in space in some capacity, they're like
infantry or whatever.
They're literally the boots on the ground, the die first.
Yeah.
The front row of the infantry so that you get shot before everybody expensive does. And he's like, oh my God, me too. And he goes, yeah, it looks like we both missed our chances to be heroes. And Garibaldi does this look like, I mean, I'm not even 39 yet. I'm pretty sure I've got time. He goes, what about the dreams? And he's like, dreams? What? I never dream. He's like, you do though. You've been talking in your sleep. And he goes, okay, is there a reason that door is open? And Garibaldi's like, yeah, you're not under arrest. You can go. And so he gets up to leave. And this is when Garibaldi's like, man, I got help. I know who can help you if you want a number. Like I can give you a better BetterHelp discount code.
I'll give you my referral code.
Just go to
We'll both get a discount.
betterhelp.com/we are all Kosh. Just kidding.
No,
no, we're not sponsored by BetterHelp. Don't even try. I mean, if you need BetterHelp, go for it.
I was going to say M. Garibaldi.
Oh. I was trying to work it in like we were really good at segueing
advertisements.
Into,
yeah,
but we're not. And anyway, he goes. I mean,
maybe we could be.
We could be BetterHelp. You want it? You want what we got? And he goes, now what would a man with everything in the world? And he pulls his little scarf and he's like, do with one of them? Like, look at the life I'm living. Why would I want to change? And then he just runs off down the hallway.
Zero sarcasm detected.
No, none at all. He's so good at this.
Yeah.
He's so good that, like, why would I want help? Do I look like I need help? Do I look like I have a problem? I've got it all together. I've got a tiny little scarf in space.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off. And then he runs off. And then we come back to Mariah, who is another one. We don't know her name for like forever.
I just had Franklin plus question mark.
Yeah, I had new lady as opposed to the old lady that he's already ditched. I like that no other character even attempts to have romantic relationships. I mean, except for Sinclair, who was dating that one woman. Yeah. But pretty much nobody else has one. And then Dr. Franklin is always swing and a miss. Mm-hmm. Every time a woman crosses his path, he's like, could we maybe do it? And they're always like,
this is another really short cut where we just see Franklin. Mariah wakes up.
You don't want
and
to
Franklin reassures her.
Relationship failures. Dr. Franklin's relationship failures. Yeah, it's basically
not yet.
Okay.
I
Put
have
a pin in that.
I have remarks for later.
Okay.
And then we get the connection with Ivanova's really short scene to now, and we see, that this is why she has information about the ship, because she got the computers up and running and got it hooked into their systems.
And it looked like something was watching her while she was in the ship.
And she was able to ask ChatGPT about its databases.
Don't even start with me. The worst part about this scene, honestly, about the entirety of the Dr. Franklin Mariah dynamic is that every time they're on screen together, he's fucking petting her. As soon as she wakes up, he starts stroking her hair and he's like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm a doctor. It's okay. And then he's just like...
He got his performance review,
gently,
which included a lot of commentary about his lack of bedside manner.
Listen.
He's working on his bedside manner.
Repetitive light touches in the same place sound like my version of hell. And she just had a horrific nightmare and he's just like lightly grazing her head over and over and over again. And she's just sitting there like, why are you touching me? What is happening? Because she's not been up yet. This is the first time she's been awake. She awakes in a strange place and this guy shows up and he's like, shh. He's like,
right. Her last memory would have been going into the...
Yeah. Saying goodnight to her husband,
chamber.
Laying down, and then all of a sudden this guy's in her face, stroking her hair and going, shh, I'm a doctor.
It'll be all right.
It's going to be fine.
I'll take care of you.
Sounds like a great horror novel, actually. I mean, evil ghost notwithstanding, Dr. Franklin, lightly petting her is the most horrific part of this entire episode.
Dr. Franklin is the secondary antagonist in this story.
No kidding.
He gets a little better
eventually. He's not even that bad. We just need a victim. He seems like a good one.
Yeah.
But then we come back to Ivanova, and she's like, look, I ran a general diagnostic of all the systems that are, still operating, and I found this. And according to our analysis, there's no malfunction of the cryogenic tube. So he should be alive. And Sheridan's like, okay, you double checked it. And she goes 3 times.
Okay. Does that mean that she triple checked it? Or does it mean that she checked it again?
Checked it again.
Total.
I don't know. Could go either way. And then
Very, very confident statement. Something or someone murdered him.
Murder. And you're like, wow, there are a million reasons he could have died.
That's a jump.
That is amazing. There's so many reasons he could have died while he was in there. The cryopod could have continued to function. He could have died.
Right.
Like, he could have died.
Well, it depends.
He could have had some kind of adverse reaction.
If it's cryogenic hibernation means you're literally freezing everything so that there are no biological processes happening.
Right.
But she dreams. If there are no biological processes happening, there's no brain function happening.
Does she dream in the pod, or is she just saying?
Yeah, because she said she had nightmares in the pod where she felt like there was something in there with her.
Yeah.
So this isn't cryogenic.
Well, because they just go and open the deep freeze and then pull her out, and she's supple immediately. So she's clearly not frozen.
It's not hard
solid.
frozen. It's maybe it's cold.
Maybe it's cryogenic TM. Like, that's just the name of the brand. We don't know the process that they're using to freeze them. We don't know what all could go wrong that did not involve the pod malfunctioning.
Mm-hmm.
A lot could have happened. Murder
It could
is
have been
such
bad
a jump.
sensors.
Murder, you know what's wild? Murder is a huge jump because there's 2 fucking people in the pod, and it's been gone for 100 years.
Right.
And she was frozen when she arrived, which means who murdered him? Who murdered him? And then later, they're like, oh, well, it couldn't have been her because the log says she was frozen at the time. And Garibaldi goes, the logs can be faked. You know what else can be a fake?
Diagnostic logs?
Diagnostics! There's so much wrong with that huge... We need it, right? Because the episode is so short. We need to set the conflict up, and we need to off the jump.
Yeah, we need something to be hinky and to make them look into, to make them suspicious about what on the ship could have caused Will to die. Okay, cool.
But he could have just said, could it be murder? You could have just phrased it as like oh, wow, could it be foul play? Instead of like, foul play, murder most foul. He definitely was killed.
I'm thinking something like you could notice in the diagnostic logs of the pod that, oh, his life signs were steadily dropping, but they were dropping like in spurts.
Yeah.
And that there was some kind of like pressure loss in the pod that aligned with
it entering.
Right.
Because if there was
aligned with
pressure
the
loss,
life sign drop.
Yeah. Or why would the pod not have recorded the life signs of the creature inside the pod with them?
Yeah.
If it's clocking the life signs of what's happening inside of it.
And if it's tracking all of his vitals, then it should have recognized the loss of mass of his internal organs.
Yeah.
Being consumed
Where do
and
they
removed.
go? The thing is invisible. Yeah, maybe it takes them to another plane and digests them over there. Yeah.
I was thinking maybe this thing lives partially in normal space, partially in hyperspace.
It could be. So we come back to Dr. Franklin playing B5 CSI: Babylon 5. Because he's like, at the time of death, the victim's weight appears to have been about 90 pounds. And given his height and bone structure, his normal weight should have been about 180. But malnutrition wasn't what killed him. He died as a result of organ failure. And I wrote, yes, failure to be present.
Oh, what's the state of his organs? I don't know. They're missing.
They're missing.
Given his height and bone structure, his normal weight should have been about 180. But malnutrition wasn't what killed him. He died as a result of organ failure.
Why?
I don't know. They're missing. It's as if something reached inside of him and pulled everything out.
He didn't lead with that?
Right?
He didn't lead with that? Something ate this guy's organs from the inside. And he was like...
didn't lead with, his organs are missing.
He was like, you know what this guy did? He got down to 90 pounds. Do you know how? He probably followed his doctor's advice about their eating plan. And they're like, come on, be serious. And he's like, no, actually, also probably his entire internal organ mass was missing. So maybe that was part of it. He goes, it's as if something reached inside of him and pulled everything out. And they're like, what happened to the organs? And he's like, there's no evidence of them there anywhere on the ship. So this thing doesn't shit. It doesn't expel waste.
Okay. Here's a thing that exists in another story that would fit.
Okay.
How this thing consumed all of his organs without leaving them in the ship. Okay, in the Animorphs books.
Okay.
When they transform, their human bodies actually get put into hyperspace. The Animorphs version of hyperspace, zero space.
Okay.
And at one point, what do they? I think they turn into like mosquitoes or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that's too small. And their minds snap back to their human bodies, floating in zero space.
Oh no.
So if this thing is like
it shits in hyperspace.
It exists between normal space and hyperspace. Then when it eats, it pulls, maybe most of its body is actually in hyperspace.
Okay.
So it's pulling everything into hyperspace. And maybe that would be where the gas went when it entered the ship.
Yeah.
It didn't go through the hull. It vented to hyperspace.
Okay. I mean, that makes as much sense as fucking anything else that we talk about this entire episode. Because he said if there had been a cell remaining.
So then it shits in space, in hyperspace.
It shits in hyperspace. And he goes, if a cell had been remaining, we would have found it. Which means that every single murder mystery we've had where they're like, this guy got stabbed and we don't know what happened. They could have just solved it by scanning for it. Because if you can detect even one single cell
or
that doesn't match.
Dr. Franklin, like you, really likes to use hyperbole.
Oh, I think that's exactly what it is. But I'm just pointing out that if you can scan for even one single cell, we should never have been confused about we could have found, if they can scan an entire ship for one cell, how did Delenn steal an entire fucking body and hide it from everybody long enough to cremate it? Unless we were
she
just
had one of those rings. She had the ring that did the gravity.
Okay.
Right? Maybe she has a ring that does incinerate.
Gravities. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Incinerate. She just has a cremation ring.
Yeah.
Okay. It's fine. He goes, wow, we better have a talk with the woman who was with him. What do they think she did? What do you think she did? How do you think she removed her organs? They're immediately like, oh my God, she's even more diabolical than we could have
she somehow
this was the moment where you go, wow, this must be something more than human. Something other than human is happening here. If it can just remove his organs without having to disrupt anything else. And instead they're like, how did she do it?
A human could have done, especially with only access to 100-year-old technology.
Yeah.
She definitely did. She did it.
She did it. They're like, oh my God, how did she do that? How did she? He goes, I don't think it's such a good idea to go talk to her. And they're like, a man has been murdered. And the list of suspects is pretty short. This is when I think Ivanova says, according to the ship's log, she was in stasis the whole time. She couldn't have done it.
So then he says logs can be altered, like diagnostic logs from the stasis pods.
I know. John goes, logs can be altered. It's a good bet he didn't reach in and yank out his own heart. Did she? Did she?
Without putting a hole in his body?
Did she?
Wow.
Wow. She just endoscoped her hand through his mouth, down his esophagus, and then
another example where something like this
squishy
happened.
Stuff and pulled.
Another story where something like this happened is in the Dark Forest trilogy by Sijuan Liu.
Yeah.
I think it's the second book, maybe the third book. We end up having a flashback to Earth where there's this like residual pocket of 4-dimensional space that's like traveling through space.
Okay.
And it connects to Earth for a little while. And there's this lady that ended up getting like charged as a witch. I think she got killed because she was a witch or whatever. But she found out if she went to this one place in this really tall tower, she could like move into this 4-dimensional pocket. And she does some stuff, and people learn she can do weird things. And so then they ask her, somebody is trying to manipulate her and says, you need to kill this person for me. And so she goes up to her tower and goes into the 4-dimensional pocket, and then she travels to where the target is, and I think pulls either his brain out of his head.
Wow.
Into the 4-dimensional pocket. And so he just dies, obviously.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, how did you do that? You're a witch. Kill her.
All right. So, anyway, I was thinking, wow, we've made a lot of references to books this episode. Do I have one? And I actually do. I do have a comparable. I have a moment from a book that I read for Feast, Sheath, and Shatter called Throne of Glass. It was the Throne of Glass series. It's one of the first ones. I think it might actually be the first one. And there's these characters. Characters are being killed. And when they find them, their organs are missing.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's one character that's found at the bottom of these stairs. And there's like blood runes scrawled all around in his blood. And there's like a circle drawn. And his organs are missing.
Mm-hmm.
And the person investigating the murder is like, yeah, we think he got drunk and fell down the stairs and his organs fell out.
And the blood spatter just happens to look
Just
like
that.
a rune circle around his body.
And I made that point in the episode and I didn't go over very well. So anyway, so.
So there's lots of precedent for a human in the...
I would argue none of that is precedent for people removing organs.
In the human fiction, like,
well,
literature.
because it's terrifying. The idea of something removing your internal organs. It's like why disemboweling sounds like the worst possible death, because you can you know you're going to die. Yeah. And you can literally look down and see parts of yourself that should be in you, no longer in you.
But there's all these examples of in stories.
Yeah.
People's organs getting removed suspiciously, and it was always a human who did it.
Yeah.
And so that's why in Babylon 5 they think,
I don't think that's why.
A human could have done this.
If he had an incision and his organs were removed, sure, dog, go off. Yeah. Yeah, of course she woke up and took his organs out. Sure, of course. I don't know why. Maybe she just didn't like him anymore. I don't fucking know. But there's no incision. They're just gone. They're just missing. There's nothing, no reason that they should be missing.
They still think she did it. Where would she have put them? Even if she ate them, is there any of her poop on the ship?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It would have shown up in her waist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're like, Dr. Franklin.
It's just absurd that they believe she did it.
Which is why I pointed out, because it's the best part of the episode. They're like, oh my God, what is she capable of? You better not go talk to her alone. And they're like, Dr. Franklin, yeah, she's awake and asking for you. He's like, great, I'm going to go talk to her alone. And then he fucks off to go talk to her. And then he just goes, finish up for me, would you? Because they're in like his little room doing an autopsy. And then we zoom in on Sheridan and Garibaldi. And Garibaldi goes, lousy way to die, huh? And Sheridan's like, I mean, last time I checked, there weren't too many good ways to die. And then Dr. Franklin walks in to talk to Mariah. And he's like, wow, you're looking a lot better.
You're looking so good.
Well, God, you look so good. Did you get the underwear I picked out for you? She's like, I'm feeling a lot better thanks to you, Dr. Franklin. Stephen, if you don't mind asking me and you don't mind answering a few questions, what were you doing on that ship? And I want to point out that this is the first time we've been in the little side room, the recovery room, where it hasn't been backlit white curtains. We actually finally got walls. And this is one of the moments where we get an info dump. We get a very well done, slow but thorough info dump because she's like, my husband and I were part of a commercial research group. They needed volunteers for a long-term deep space mission. We did it. We were assigned to the Copernicus. She was programmed to She was programmed to home in on any signal we might come across and wake us up. But it didn't wake them up when it found a signal. Oh, maybe it would have when it was closer.
That's why
her vitals are dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was waking her up. And maybe her vitals were supposed to drop during the reanimation process.
I don't know.
But it's 100-year-old technology, so who
he's
knows?
like, I never thought the signal could be of human origin. How long were we in stasis? And Dr. Franklin's like, I think we should really just kind of take this a little bit at a time. And she's like, oh my God, how long? And he goes, I mean, like 100 years, give or take. And she's like, 100. And I want to point out, why are you shocked? How long did did you think it was going to take?
Surprising.
How long did you think it was going to take to find alien life? A week? 2 weeks? Did you think you were going to get frozen in cryostasis, launched off, and be back by Christmas?
You got launched out here.
On a whim.
How were you supposed to get back in contact with Earth? This was a one-way trip. Unless you find aliens and, they can get you back to Earth.
And they're nice, and they speak English, and they give you jump gate technology.
This was always a one-way trip. Unless they were supposed to, make contact and then turn it around, get back in the stasis chambers, and go back to Earth.
I don't know.
How were you getting paid for this?
It's a commercial research trip.
Did you get paid
maybe
up front?
Their family got paid.
There's a way you do something where you say, here's, $200,000 for you right now. You have 6 months to spend it. And at the end of the 6 months, you get on the ship and go.
Maybe it's like in A Door into Summer, which I read by Robert Heinlein. Mm-hmm. Another literary reference for you today. And what you do is you take all of your money and you give it to a stock portfolio.
Oh, yeah. Put it in a bank.
And then
I was thinking about that.
And then you get cryogenically frozen for a period of time. And when you come back, you're wealthy because your money has had time to grow. Maybe it was like that.
Fry.
Yeah. Exactly like Fry in Futurama.
Yeah.
And I think that may be similar where they gave them money, they invested it for them, and then when you come back, you have the money.
Yeah. In potentially
you never have to work
100 years,
again.
200 years. Yeah.
Oh, not 100 years because she's shook. 100 years? Oh my God. I'd like to see Will now. And he's like, actually, that's about Will. And she's like, oh, is something wrong? And he goes, yeah, I'm afraid he died during the voyage. And we don't even know how long ago he died.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And she's like, oh my God. We just said goodnight to each other. And then she goes, I can't cry, and pokes her eyes. And he's like, yeah, long-term stasis dries the tear ducts. Okay, wait. Tear ducts do so much more than help you cry. They do. You have 4 different kinds of tears or some shit like that.
Right.
You have your lubricating tears. You have your emotional tears.
Right. Has she been putting in eye drops?
Yeah. Oh, she's just dry-eyed this whole time, just sandpaper eyes. That doesn't. Why? Why even add this? My only reason I can think of that we added this is the actress couldn't cry on command.
Yeah.
And so they were like, she looks unsympathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just add a line about how she can't cry? It doesn't make sense scientifically. Who gives a shit? Just throw it in there. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then she goes, God, what have I done? I mean, I think you knew what you did. You signed up for it. How did you think this was going to go? Was this a risk-free operation? It doesn't look like the Apple store of pods. It looks like alien pod, corrugated flooring, open machinery on the walls, a smattering of buttons. It's not this doesn't look like 2001: A Space Odyssey or some shit. You had to know this was very likely a one-way trip that you were never going to wake up from.
Right.
Unless they got real drunk And they were like wealthy and bored. And she was like, oh my God, Will, we've done everything on Earth that's possible to do. What can we do next? And he's like, how about we do something not on Earth, darling? And then they signed up and they were like,
yes, that is Will's accent.
and then they just sauntered down to, maybe they had a buddy who was like, oh my God, I have this thing that I'm doing where I'm sending people out into space. You'll be gone for like a season at most. And when you come back, oh my God, it's going to be so good. You'll have so many stories to tell everybody and you're going to be the toast of the class. And he was like, oh, okay, great. And so they signed up for it, not realizing that like, you're probably going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, space is risky. It's fine, whatever. I'm not going to keep harping on it.
Yeah, and then we get another really short scene with Reginald Amos.
Yeah, down below.
Just to show him wandering around.
Holy mother.
And like freaking out again.
Yeah, and then he takes off.
And
then
he
he
gets chased
finds
off.
it.
So
doesn't he find the thing and it chases him off?
There's another one. There's another short scene where he finds it.
There's so many little clips in this episode. Yeah.
And I think it's to give a sense that time is passing.
Yeah.
In between without us having to spend a whole lot of time with each of these characters.
It's cool. It's interesting because, like I mentioned, the director is not, he directed some things, but he's more of a cinematographer than a director. So it's interesting that you hired somebody to do it. And then they had such an interesting approach that's different from previous episodes where we had a lot of long takes.
Yeah.
This is long, short, long, short, long, short. It works.
Yeah, I think it works pretty well.
And then we cut to Dr. Franklin strolling about the countryside with Mariah in his little ombre shirt. And he's like, oh, you've never seen aliens before.
And now he's giving her an info dump.
And she goes there.
What's that?
You're welcome. It's Dr. Franklin's I'm hot. It's his date voice.
Yeah.
It's his date voice.
When he's like, trying to impress the ladies.
Yeah, she's like, well, I mean, there were indications that were other life forms, but like I never imagined anything like this. I've missed so much. And he goes, well, not all of it has been good. A few years after your ship left Earth, we finally made contact with other species, the Centauri. And for some reason, we wanted to continue meeting other races after we met the space Romans. So we opened up trade relations. They gave us jump gate technology. Before that, we'd been pretty limited to our own solar system. But after that, we were out among the stars. Which means she literally passed the Centauri on the way out.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she was going in the opposite direction.
Oh, maybe.
Otherwise, they would have stopped her.
Someone pointed out they sent these probes out. They're not the only ones. So they sent out a bunch of these in straight line directories. I'm not drunk, I swear to God. I only have espresso in my coffee cup. So they sent them all out, right?
Yep.
We got space technology that allowed us to travel anywhere in the universe as quickly as we want to. And no one was like...
Well, not just anywhere.
But no one was like, should we go get them?
So this one in particular was a corporate...
Yeah.
Corporate endeavor.
Right.
They're probably like, we don't want to spend the money.
You'd think it would be a like publicity stunt to go find them and bring them back.
Yeah, let's go bring them all back because like...
I mean, look at how many times we saved Matt Damon.
Never rescue Matt Damon.
If Matt Damon had been in that pod, we'd have been fucking all over it.
Yeah.
We would have spent any amount of money to go save him.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not. They don't. Nobody goes to get them. They're just like, well, someone will pick them up. It's fine.
Yeah.
I guess they assumed they would hone in on a signal.
Or the companies went out of business.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as jump gate technology came around.
What happens during summer. But maybe they figured since they honed in on signals, there would now be so many signals that they would just get...
Eventually they'll hit a human habitat. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe most of them have, but not this one.
Yeah, maybe most of them got picked up years ago, which would make sense because they do recognize that when the thing got on the ship, it changed the trajectory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it was going to be picked up. Oh, that makes sense. She's like, he goes, after that, I mean, we were out among the stars. First leasing time on alien jump gates and then building our own. So the cryogenic suspension, the goodbyes, it was all for nothing is what she says. And I love the idea of just missing it. You always get like the people in the far past and the people in the far future, but you don't get the people that just fucking miss it, that are like 18 months out from not having to do the thing that they go through. She's like, God, if I had just waited a few more years. And he's like, I mean, you couldn't have known, which is true. There's no way you would have known. I mean, what you did, it took vision, it took courage. And she's like, hey, yeah, okay, whatever. What else did I miss? And this is when he gets a really good line, actually. He's like, the usual, the good times, the bad times, the revelations, the revolutions.
What else have I missed?
The usual. The good times and the bad times, and the revelations, the revolutions. Outbreaks of hysteria, the parade of scandals, promises, constitutions, and the occasional war. The last big ones were against the Dilgar, which we won, and against the Minbari, which, well, that's a long story.
And we still haven't outgrown violence?
No. It's going to take a lot more than 100 years to evolve a better human.
And she goes, wait a minute, we haven't outgrown violence? And he's like, I mean, it's only been 100 years. It's going to take more than that to evolve a better human. And this is when Jakar walks up. And I'm glad to see Jakar in this episode, but also, who did his makeup this episode? He looks like he went tanning. He is so much darker this episode than he is in any previous episode. Maybe it was just, I don't know.
Lighting?
I don't know. Maybe it was the way he was lit because we had a new guy. But he's like, oh my God, this must be our visitor from the past. And Dr. Franklin does the job of introducing her to Jakar. And Jakar goes, take my advice and go back to the time you came from, as if that's even possible. The future isn't what it used to be. And then he walks off, which is real fucking nice, okay? Wow. Okay, I get you're mad. I get you're big mad that nobody's believing you, that are things on the rim that are happening. But, like, don't take it out on the poor lady that just woke up, okay?
Right. She literally just got here.
And this is when she has, like, a nightmare and she passes out. And it's of the thing coming into her tube.
Yeah.
And she wakes up and she's like,
where am I?
And he's petting her again, by the way. Yeah, he's like, and he was stroking her hand when they were in the Zocalo.
Well, that's when he put the sedative on her.
She goes, where am I? And he goes, my quarters. They were closer than MedLab. And I wrote, at least they were once I carried you there.
I wrote, I bet he says that to all the ladies.
And she goes, oh, I guess you came to my rescue again. And he's like gently stroking her this whole time. And he goes, hardly. You were having a dream. You cried out as if something were attacking you. And she goes, well, I did. I guess I just don't remember. Why are you interested in my dreams? And he's like, actually, I haven't been like
completely honest with you.
100% honest about your husband.
I haven't been accompanying you just because I'm interested in you romantically.
Not only. He goes, he didn't just die. Something killed him.
Ate him?
Something that was on the ship? And she's like, I mean, no, it was only, oh my God, you fucking think I killed him. And he's like, oh, no, but I think there might be something in your dreams that will tell us what killed him. She goes, no, what kind of insanity is this? Correct. This is a correct response. How the fuck do you think I killed him? He's like, it's going to be all right.
Logs can be faked. Logs can be altered.
She goes, oh God, I just don't know where I am anymore. I'm all alone. And he's like, you're not alone. And then he puts his hand on the side of her face like, you're not alone. And he like squeezes her cheeks. And then they make out a little bit.
She kisses him.
And I went, oh, seriously? Her husband just died. Literally to her, he died. Like she saw him yesterday and he's dead today.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, I really don't think this is appropriate at this particular time. And she goes,
I wrote,
no.
Dr. Franklin hears that all the time.
And she just goes, no, I guess not. And then I wrote, maybe stop with the grabby hands then, because he's just like mawing her face. She goes, it's just I'm a little scared and I'm seeking security, I guess. Like, you're a big, strong doctor man. Maybe you'll take care of me. And he just snatched her agency right out of her head. Like, she has no agency in this. She's never even alone in this entire. Well, she's alone when she's like sleeping in medbay. It's fine.
As far as we know.
And she goes, I don't know, maybe more than just a little scared. And he's like, why don't you just rest? And he goes, and just pushes her head down on the pillow. He's like, rest. And she's like, oh, why am I getting so sleepy? Pulls out a needle. No reason. Just go to sleep. And then we come to a really funny part with Garibaldi where he's eating
just
in the
candid
subclub.
moment with Garibaldi.
I love this. I love this so much. This is the best part of the whole episode because he's eating. And then a tentacle shoots out of the guy's plate next to him and starts flopping around on the table. And he just grabs it and tucks it back underneath some lettuce. And then he offers it to Garibaldi. And Garibaldi goes, no, thanks. I'm trying to cut down.
And then Reginald's back.
Yeah. You're all going to die. And he just looks over at the Drazi and goes, save me some dessert. And then gets up and goes after him.
So here's where I started wondering. Because he was saying a soldier of darkness.
Yeah.
I thought, I wonder if Amos is a latent telepath.
I don't know if he's a latent telepath or if he's just still psychically connected to this thing.
They hadn't revealed that Amos had already had an encounter with the same creature.
Yeah.
And it has a piece of him.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, maybe he's a latent telepath. Like, not strong enough to get picked up by a Psychor.
I think it's kind of any sufficiently advanced society has at least some element of psi ability.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing, while it is not a shadow, JMS was adamant that it is a friend of the shadows or like a shadow accomplice.
I was trying to go hang out with him.
And it is a possibly last surviving member of a race.
Mm.
And that would make it old enough that it's possible they had evolved into a thing that could use a lot of psi ability. And so then that would be why it was still connected to Amos. So what he's seeing is what it's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it feels like a darkness.
Yeah.
It would feel so alien.
Oh, I felt like darkness was a reference to the shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Just a different word.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why it's a soldier of darkness.
Yeah. And every time they say darkness, it's capital D.
And actually, Amos is quite lucid in this moment, which I thought was interesting. And he's still coming out to tell everybody, death came on that ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I followed it and I found it. And I saw the same thing during the war. And Garibaldi's like, cool, tell me more. Thank God for Garibaldi.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody else, if Garibaldi had been there when they opened, was he there when they opened the cryo thing? I think it was only Ivanova.
Yeah,
and
he
Sheridan.
wasn't there.
If he'd been there, he'd have been like, well, it was obviously the thing that came out of the cryopod when we opened it. And they'd all be like, the what? And he'd be like, oh my God, you guys.
You guys
seriously,
don't even pay
fucking
attention.
Seriously.
Put down your phones for a minute.
And in the meantime, a lurker dies of organ failure, a.k.a. failure to be present. Something.
Organ loss.
Somehow, Mariah figures out how to sneak away, find somebody, and vacuum their organs out through their mouth again. Crazy. Even without knowing,
leaving any evidence.
and without knowing any alien physiology, because she didn't even know alien existed until yesterday.
Yep. She's a fast learner.
Dr. Franklin is examining the victim. That's what we come back to. It's another quick clip. And then we're back to Dr. Franklin. And he's like, I finished examining the victim, and not one of his internal organs is still inside his body. And they're like, oh my God, do you know what happened to them? And he's like, I don't fucking know. If I knew, I'd have told you. Well, maybe. He said there's no sign of an entry or an exit wound. In other words, Mariah killed him the same way she killed her husband.
Right.
That's not what he says. He goes, she died the same way. And then they go, it's assuming that's who she even is. They're like, what are you saying? Now, this is a plausible thing. That it is some type of alien creature impersonating her. Okay. Thank you, Garibaldi. That one makes a lot of sense. He goes, I arrested a lurker named Amos, who was stationed on a deep space listening post during the war. 47 men landed on that moon, and all of them were slaughtered except one. And Dr. Franklin goes, I mean, is there a point to this? What the fuck? He just said,
Let me finish.
Let me fucking finish, bro. But Garibaldi's like, I mean, yeah, because he thinks that's whatever wiped out his post is what came here on the Copernicus.
Right. Amos specifically said, whatever, that ship that just arrived was carrying the thing that killed all my men.
And he's like, oh my God, we ran a scan of that ship. If it was on board, we would have found it. And Garibaldi goes, yeah, unless it's something we've never seen before.
Unless it can hide in hyperspace.
A thing that could absorb memories made it onto the ship. A floating tentacle beast
Guns
that ate
make
brains.
it onto the ship all the time.
A giant floating tentacle thing that can eat brains made it onto this ship.
Under Garibaldi's watch.
And it was literally eating memories. And they were like, I don't fucking know. I don't know what it could be. That's just crazy. How are people doing? Listen, I think at some point we need to realize that it's okay to go the crazy route, to go hey, maybe there's a thing eating these organs.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally, maybe it's Imhotep from the Mummy. That's what the guy looked like when they wiped off his cover.
He looked like a mummy.
He looked like the guys that Imhotep steals their organs and their fluids or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, he goes, something completely outside of our experience, which would not be unprecedented. This isn't even the first time in the last 10 episodes we've come across something that is not within the scope of their usual reality. And Garibaldi goes, I did the fucking bare minimum and traced the ship's path to see where it had been. But surprised no one had done that yet. He goes, it passed within the gravitational pull of the same moon that Amos was stationed on. I thought the use of the name Amos was really interesting because Amos is an Old Testament prophet. And he doesn't come up very often. He was a Old Testament, I speak the word of God guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they named this guy Amos, although it's not spelled the same.
Right.
It's actually spelled how it's said.
Pronounced. Yeah.
It's fine. He's like, this is Mariah Cyrus. This Mariah Cyrus might not be what she appears. That's what Garibaldi says. He's like, I mean, a lot of shit's lining up pretty nice and neat.
Yep.
And Dr. Franklin's like, nope.
It ain't her.
Nope.
I'm positive.
She is too hot for that. She had nothing to do with this death. And Garibaldi goes, I mean, how can you be sure? And he's like, because she was with me all night long. All night. Garibaldi just goes, wow, that's so fast.
That feels inappropriate.
You're moving kind of fast, aren't you, Doc? Nobody says inappropriate. They're just like, wow, that feels like a lot really soon. He goes, I don't sleep with my patients. I just finish and then leave. She's in pain.
I wouldn't let my guard down. Okay, we're going a little hard on Dr. Franklin.
Are we? He goes, she's in pain and I'm helping her. That's all. I want a watch put on her 24 hours a day. And I don't mean you, is what Sheridan says.
I wrote down, Sheridan read the notes about Dr. Franklin.
He's like, not you, though. No. Dr. Franklin goes, are you suggesting I'm not doing my job?
No.
No one's suggesting that. We're outright stating that, actually.
I'm suggesting that you're not trustworthy.
I didn't think it was implied. I thought it was explicit. It's fine. He goes, if there's something threatening this station.
Did I stutter?
Did I fucking stutter? He goes, if there's something threatening the station, I'll do whatever's necessary to protect it. And this is when Dr. Franklin goes, wow, all this on the word of a lurker. This is why I'm not mad about joking about Dr. Franklin in this section. Not that I think Dr. Franklin would ever actually sedate anyone or anything like that. That's not even really that good of a joke.
Right.
But really? Really?
The same guy who, on his own initiative, ran a free medical clinic for the lurkers.
Correct. Also,
but it's only because I think he's only outraged because he really likes Mariah and the lurker is challenging his perception of Mariah.
Which means he's not doing a good job right now.
He's not doing a good job compartmentalizing.
Right. And also, he used to hitchhike around the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
He used to operate
Be
like a
a
lurker.
lurker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Garibaldi's like, I mean, I checked his war records and they put enough ribbons on him to open a gift shop. And then we find out that word of the murder has spread among the non-human, the alien community.
A rumor spreads among the cucumbers.
Indeed. I wish I could figure out what video game that is. Maybe I can crowdsource this. I think it was a Sega game. And you start as like a single-celled organism and you're working your way up through evolution. And there's a part where it's just you as like an amoeba and there's sea cucumbers. And when you go into the cave with the sea cucumbers, a little thing pops up that says, a rumor spreads among the cucumbers. And I've been milking that line for fucking 30 years. And I can't remember what the name of, it's not Echo, because that's what
Right.
pops up. So
Okay.
I'm just going to throw out there, does anyone know what that is? A rumor spreads among the cucumbers. And he goes, the non-aligned worlds want to meet and have a discussion about the possibility that something came on board this ship. And then I put, so shut up, Dr. Douchebag. Something is happening. People are scared. You're not taking this seriously because you think she's hot. Okay? So that's why I'm having somebody else watch her.
Right.
He goes, go over her bioscan again and make sure you haven't missed anything. And this is when
he'll go over her bioscan again.
Garibaldi has a moment of empathy. Like Garibaldi is quickly becoming my favorite character, which I did not see coming, to be honest. But he's like, listen, for what it's worth, I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I can't act like you're right and I'm wrong. I have to prove to myself that you're right and I'm wrong. But I hope you're right. But if you're not, please be careful.
I'll say I told you so.
And this is when we go to the council, and the council's like, take the woman off the ship. And they're like, no. And that's the entire council meeting. Except for Londo standing up and being like, oh my God, this is rich. Nothing like a good ghost story.
Well, I think Londo hears the darkness.
A soldier of darkness. And
And
he's
he's
like,
I need
I just
to
gotta,
deflect
if I
this.
could, I'm just going to go. I'm
And
going to
so
make.
he immediately dismisses these claims. But Jakar's like, tell me more.
Almost like if you're just shouting fake news, it's because you're trying to cover something up. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Jakar's like, oh, God, guys, let him speak. I find this very interesting. And this is when the guy goes on, the ambassador continues, the forces of darkness do not move openly. They work through others, use others. And when the darkness was defeated long ago, they scattered. Now the dark hand is reaching out and recalling them from their sleep. And I can see how if Jakar rolled up and was like, yeah, the darkness is back, you'd be like, okay, Jakar, whatever. Go back to your quarters, pick out a couple of women that are waiting in line or whatever, have some nice consensual sex, and then
Work
come
off
back.
that energy.
Work it
that's
back.
got you all riled
It's
up.
fine. But this is not even like the third time they have heard a reference. When they went to Babylon 4, Thothras told them there was a big war, a great darkness. This was the base that was used to defeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Jakar mentions that there are things stirring on the rim. His friend from last episode saw something. And every single race has a story about the great darkness that was defeated.
Right.
And is now waking back up. And they're all like, oh my God, are you guys like listening to the same podcast or watching the same show? Or like, oh my God, it's kind of cool that you guys are like all the same or whatever. No one is like, I'm going to look into this.
Jakar is.
And Jakar, but only Jakar.
Right.
None of the,
The Minbari know.
well, they know, but I'm talking about like Earth Force. Like
Right.
Sheridan's not interested. Ivanova's not like, I think
bet
the worst possible
Garibaldi's
thing is
cataloging
happening.
it.
Maybe.
But his responsibility is more day-to-day stuff on the station.
Right.
And it's more Sheridan's responsibility
I'm just
to
pointing
keep the
out-
bigger picture in mind.
I'm pointing out that the issues with pushing incredulity way beyond where it's really realistic doesn't just stay with, hey, I think there's a weird ghost thing eating people's organs on the ship.
Right.
They need the 10th man, the concept of like, no matter how ridiculous it is,
look into it.
Because the consequences of being caught off guard are far greater than the consequences of seeming ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah, these guys are soldiers of darkness. Evil sometimes wears a pleasant face.
I wrote, that's an odd way to say that they're into humans.
It's like, you just consider what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah.
Like, think about this. It could definitely be something happening. We know something greater is waking up.
Right. And Sheridan does say, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe there's something to this.
Right. And if you ignore it, you get burned. I don't have to believe in the dark force to realize there's something strange going on here. Thank you. Correct. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. He goes, it's been a nice chat with you, but I have more important things to do.
If there's something aboard this station, find it and kill it.
So I guess we've all forgotten about the Londo who hid in his quarters from the tentacle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, there's a thing.
Superstition.
Yeah. And then this time he's like, whatever, who gives a shit? That's suspicious.
That's a big change in behavior from past Londo.
If there's anything aboard the station, find it and kill it. It's that simple. The rest is nonsense. And then he leaves, exits. Londo left. And then the rest of the non-aligned worlds are like, I mean, if you don't do something about her presence, we are. And Sheridan is like, this is a good moment. I was like,
this line unsettled me a little bit, where Sheridan says, as long as I am the law on B5.
Yeah, that I didn't love. But this was our first moment where Sheridan wasn't like golden retriever character.
Right.
He was like, okay, if I'm going to be here, I got to be here.
Yeah.
And he literally says, I intend to see everyone as protected, human and alien and alike. But he makes it sound like a threat. He's like, I am the law on Babylon 5, and I will see that everyone is protected, human and alien alike. Fucking got it. And the guy's like, yeah, no, totally got it. And he's like, great, meeting adjourned. And then he walks over, and Ivanova goes, that was real smooth. And he goes, was it that bad? And she's like, I mean, a little bit. And then she says, what if something did get on board the Copernicus when it passed that moon? Oh my God. Hey, we're entertaining the concepts of a plan, the possibilities that it may be possible that there's a thing that maybe possibly did it.
Yep.
And he just goes, I'll believe it when I see it. And Ivanova goes, well, let's hope we don't get the chance.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then another really short Garibaldi waking up.
And then he goes, oh, hell. Because it's like, oh, fucking God. Okay, fine. I got to follow the Amos lead.
Mm-hmm.
I got to follow it. Then he goes down and wakes him up. He's like, rise and shine, buddy. Everything in your Earth First record suggests you're out of your mind. And he goes, well, that's debated in the medical community. There are some who believe I'm just a compulsive liar. Oh, God, same. And he goes, but you want me to believe you? And Amos is like, yeah. And he goes, okay, so this is your chance. Take me to where you followed it. You want to show me? Show me.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Like right now? And he's like, yeah, dog, right now. And then we go down to down below.
He's like, it was right there.
Ironically, it's not standing there waiting for them to come back.
Darn.
And he goes, what does it look like? And Amos goes, the past. So poetic. And then they think something is happening in the other room, but when they go in there, it's just another lurker. So they have a moment. They sit down. He's like, okay, all right, let's regroup. Because he starts screaming, you want me, you bastard. I'm here. Let's finish it. And he's like, okay, it's just a minute.
And Garibaldi has this like long, slow speech.
He calms him down. He gives him backstory. We get non-relationship character growth from Garibaldi because he's like, listen, when I was on my planet during the war, there was a guy who kept telling us that our perimeter was weak, and we all thought he was being ridiculous, and nobody believed him because we thought it was secure. And then one night we all stopped laughing because they came and they went through the perimeter like it was paper. And that guy was the first to die, but he saved all of our lives. And he was crazy, but he was right. And
two things can be true.
And I believe you. And Amos looks like he's about to cry.
Yeah.
He's crushing this moment. And he just goes, the honored dead. And then Garibaldi's like, okay, now tell me. Tell me about the listening post. And then we get the story that they were an intelligence gathering unit They set up on this moon before the Minbari got like their scanners in place, like snuck in the back door before they had it locked. They set up in some old ruins of some kind, and I wrote, always a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, as far as we knew, it was a dead world. There's no reason to believe that setting up in these ruins would be a bad idea.
Right.
I think there's ample reason to believe, considering you don't know anything about the race and why it died and what kind of technology they left behind. But let's just table that discussion for a minute. He goes, it came at night during a storm, and we saw nothing, heard nothing. It literally came right through the walls like a hot wind. The first man died just meters from me, never even screamed. And we ran, but it killed us all. And he goes, for a second, I thought I lost it, but then I saw it standing in the middle of a ball of lightning, and it looked like it had come straight from hell. And Garibaldi goes, how did you survive? And he's like, dude, I didn't. It kept me alive. As a snack. It becomes part of you, feeding on you. The lucky ones were the men who died on that moon, because what it took from me, I can never get back. When the rescue party showed up, I weighed 85 pounds. And that's how I knew it was on the station, because a part of me is still inside that thing. And I can feel it, but nobody ever believed me. And Garibaldi's like, okay, I believe you. So can you lead me to it? Can you follow this feeling? And Amos is like, oh, I actually think that's what it's been doing. I think it's been calling me because we have unfinished business. And then he yeets off again. He's like, ah! And screams running. And then Garibaldi's like, Amos! Oh,
So that got me thinking that maybe the thing was driving the Copernicus towards Amos.
Mm.
But then they said it was headed towards Zahadum. So
yes,
and
it
Babylon
picked
5
up.
was just along the way.
Right, and the programming for the pod took
Right.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it makes me wonder why Garibaldi didn't run after him. He runs off. Garibaldi could have just given chase, but instead he's like, no, don't. Come back.
Yeah.
And then we come back because Mariah is in the pod. In the Copernicus. And Dr. Franklin finds her there. She's supposed to be under 24-hour surveillance, but she's there alone, so don't even start
Just
with
don't
me
worry
right
about
now.
it.
It's fine. And she's like, this is all I have now. This, my memories, and you. And I wrote, have they contacted Earth? Did they find out if she has any living family?
That's a good point.
I don't know. And then she goes, or maybe I'm assuming more than I should. Maybe I don't even have you. And Dr. Franklin just goes, I think this is all happening a little fast, don't you? And she's like, I mean, you just lost your husband. And she goes, I know. And I'd be lying if I said I don't miss him. I do, but he was kind of a dick. That's basically what she says. She goes, I'd be lying if I said things were perfect between us. After a while, all we had in common were the stars and dreams. You can go far on that. What about you? And he's like, same problem, I guess. My work comes first. I'm kind of a dick.
Hey, I could.
He goes, it's hard to find someone who understands that. It hasn't been easy.
Sounds like you have a lot of experience with the guy who put work first and was kind of a dick.
Yeah. Maybe we could
I
make
could
this
be that
work.
man for
I could
you.
be that. You want? I also could ignore you. He goes, this place isn't exactly ideal for raising a family. And she's like, no, it's not. It's just as well. Will never woke up. I don't think he would have liked this world. What the fuck is wrong with this world?
You said he was a dick. Why do you care?
Why do you can still, there's still strip malls. You can still go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
You can just take a ship home. I mean,
I bet your bank accounts are doing great.
I know. That's fine. Whatever. This is the part where I wrote her mouth is so clicky. He goes, whatever killed your husband is on the station and it's taken another life. Now I need to know everything you know. And she's like, oh, fine.
I guess I'll act in the interest of the greater good.
A deep sigh of like, if I have to save other people, I fucking guess I might as well. Have you considered, Mariah, that it might not have been Will?
She is the kind of person that would volunteer for this type of mission on the Copernicus.
Yeah.
is obviously motivated to do things for the greater good.
Maybe it went like this. Honey, do you think we should have a baby to save this relationship? And she was like, no, but I know what we could do.
It was her only way to escape.
Maybe he had so many side chicks, she got tired of trying to keep up, and she was like, how about if we just outlive them all? And then, then they're all done.
And then we're the only two humans
Yeah.
within light years.
Uh-huh. That will fix our
that's
relationship.
the only way she would have confidence that he wouldn't run around on her.
Yeah. And literally, he goes, I need you to tell me everything you know so that we can save people. And she's like, all right, fine. In my dreams, there's something in the tube with me. I think it was keeping me alive so it could find more food. Find more food. Maybe Babylon 5. I don't know. It seems like it's full of food or whatever. I've put everyone in great danger. And you did. Yeah, correct. Yep.
Well,
especially by not telling
right.
anyone what you knew.
The only thing that she did that put people in danger is not tell somebody that she felt like she was not alone.
Right. As soon as they were like, I think there's something, and then I don't think there's something, she could have been like, no, there was something.
She probably should not have been dreaming at all.
Right.
When she's in stasis.
Right.
So it was probably like bringing her out of stasis a little bit so that there was enough metabolic activity for it to actually feed off of her.
Right.
Anyway.
It's fine. And then we come back because Sheridan is talking to Garibaldi, and he's like, I think that dude's lying to you again because official accounts of the massacre at the listening post blame the attack on the Minbari. And Garibaldi's like, okay, well, Amos may not be sure of much, but he is sure of one thing, and that it was not attacked by the Minbari.
And he says he can track it.
Yeah.
And so then Sheridan's like, oh, okay, so he could actually be useful. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
He goes, oh, okay, like some kind of symbiosis. Like he immediately is like, okay, I mean,
some kind of psychic connection.
If you insist,
cool.
I guess. He goes, the same thing happened to Mariah. She also might be able to help us. Now, what if what the lurker said is true and there is some kind of symbiotic relationship? Who knows what kind of influence it may have over her?
But she's behaving oddly. Why is she so focused on, like, Dr. Franklin?
Why didn't it get on the ship when they rescued Amos?
There could have been a whole Minbari thing.
Maybe it had nowhere to go.
Yeah, maybe it was full. It was taking a nap.
Yeah. Well, it didn't have, there was no reason to leave. Where was it going to go? Well, just to get more food. But we find out it's not mindless. It redirected the ship.
Yeah.
So it was a sentient creature, which means they discussed the whole plot to like lure it out and kill it by shooting it a bunch in front of it. And then it did it anyway.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Because it really wants Amos.
Right. So
the one that got away.
Garibaldi pops up and gets Mariah. He's like, I need your help to find a friend. And then they fuck off because they find his scarf. He's like, he finds his scarf discarded. Okay. So he's like, oh no, it's somewhere. Maybe that's the cut that seems unusual, but he's just looking for his friend before he goes to try to figure out another angle for looking for him. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, Dr. Franklin told me about him. Like, I'm really sorry. And he goes, can you find this thing? Can you feel it? And she's like, I think so. I can try. And then Dr. Franklin pops out of the bushes. He's like, provided her doctor comes along. Okay, it's fucking fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, weirdly, we don't get any of that. None of that.
Looking for Amos.
None of it. None.
Right.
It completely happens off screen.
We cut to space and then
Ivanova's like, we have weapons fire. We think we heard Garibaldi, but then it was cut off. That's it. We don't see them looking for it. We don't get any dialogue in that section. We get no oblique references. We don't get her
like getting hand wavy, like, ooh.
No.
It's this way.
Just all of a sudden, they're in trouble. We don't know why there were two people down there that he had to drag out.
Maybe they had to cut scenes to fit it in the time slot.
I don't know. But they seal off the area. They head down there. And they see...
they say...
break out the heavy weapons.
Break out the heavy... I said she pulls out the sawed-off shotgun version of a space gun. And it was just under her console.
You know
Very,
she keeps
very
it there.
Russian of
you
her.
know she keeps it there.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Velcroed. It's literally Velcroed. And she's like, oh, like this one? And hands it to him. And he's like, you know what? Okay.
That was extremely convenient. Let's go.
Let's, okay. Thank you. And then we go down, and Dr. Franklin and Mariah are not in the kill zone at all. They have removed themselves completely. She's vigorously rubbing the one guy's hand, which is what she must have learned is medicine at this point. Just
Hand rubbing.
Hand rubbing. What if I pet him a lot? And Dr. Franklin's like,
You have to do it slower. And the trick is you have to be sexually attracted to the person that you're rubbing.
It's all part of the connection. Okay. And he's like running a scanner in loops over this guy. It's the most like, look busy.
Yeah.
And so they're looking busy. And they're like, oh my God, Garibaldi pulled them out. And then he went back in. And he's like, okay, you two stay here. Tell us if he
There's
doubles
just
back.
bodies lying all over the place. This thing was hungry.
Right. It got tired of like, why is it in the reactor even? Like it's not, there's radiation symbols all over on the walls. It's fine. He's like, you got a plan? Or Ivanova goes, you got a plan? And Sheridan goes, yeah, don't get killed. And she's like, brilliant. Great. Wow. No, I fucking love that. That's a great fucking plan. Miss Sinclair. What'd you say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Miss Sinclair. And they're like, Amos? And this is when he's like, kill it. And it's just all,
And he's like floating in the air. And he has stuff like draped over him.
It's fine. This is the moment where they were like, we tried to push the envelope and maybe it kind of just didn't work. And then they all huddle up, not even behind anything, just in a circle on the ground, and they're like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to lure it into a trap. All we have to do. And Ivanova's like, should I come in? And they're like, no, triangulate your fire. Triangulate from fucking where? Where are they? They're in like a cul-de-sac. They're in a dead end. There's walls on either side. There's nobody else in the area.
They're looking down a hallway at Amos and the thing.
Yeah.
And there's an intersection at the other end of the hallway.
Okay, well, that must be where everybody is.
That's where they end up showing up. But I think Sheridan's plan was to run towards Ivanova and lure it to follow them so then everybody could make a kill zone.
Right.
And all shoot their guns at the same time. But then they just stay where they are.
You know the joke.
And Ivanova shows up at the other end of the hallway.
It's fine. You know the joke that I've made a bunch of times where it's like, it's not working. Shooting it's not working. And they're like, have you tried shooting it harder?
That's their strategy.
That's their fucking strategy. Because they're like, oh my God, the PPGs don't do much more than sting it. And he's like, 1 bee sting's annoying. 100 bee stings are deadly. He's like, okay, with that logic, hell yeah, let's do this, dog. It's made of energy.
It happened to Macaulay Culkin.
It appeared in a ball of lightning. It was capable of existing inside an energy sphere.
Mm-hmm.
But sure, let's pew it to death. It's totally fine.
Right. It definitely can't eat that.
It needs organs, specifically organ meat. It is a sweet meats only kind of guy. So they're like, okay, let's do this. And then Amos is like, you don't understand. It's smarter than you think. It's going to know you're leading it into a trap. And they're like, when have you been right? Huh? What do you know about this thing? And he's like, fuck all y'all. And he just runs. He's like, I'm right here, you. And it goes out. It's like, ooh, snack. And it goes to grab him.
It just kicks him.
It's like, and they're like, oh my God, it's our opening. And so then they
smelled
shoot
a trap.
And then they shoot it to death. And it's just like, if I was it, I would just go and then become invisible again. And then I'd be like, you killed me.
Just sneak through the wall. Just go through the floor.
Oh my God.
Make it look like I collapsed.
It doesn't have to be anywhere. It can exist anywhere. It can go through any wall it wants to. It could have just phased to the floor and been like waved on its way down. And bye, y'all. We go get me now.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It doesn't make sense. There was no way to kill this thing that made sense, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there were ways, but we didn't go through any of them. We just killed it harder and it died. And then they come back because Amos survived all that. And he's like, he's just banged up. That's it. It was holding him by the back. And then it viciously punted him with its boot. I don't know. So now he's just sleeping. all he wanted was to be set free and to forget, and now maybe he can. And Mariah's like, well, what about me? And Dr. Franklin's like, yeah.
You can stay with me.
What about you?
I got room in my
He
apartment.
goes, if you need a place to stay, this is as good a place as any. I can help. And she's like, I thought about that. And actually, I'm going to have to go with no.
Pass.
It's not a hard pass, but it's a pass. She goes, I have 100 years to catch up on. There could be hotter guys out there. I don't know. I did read. So I read 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read 2012, the year we made contact.
Yeah.
And then I read 2042, whatever the interim one is. And then there's 3001, way in the future. And it's the guy, you remember the one guy that gets pushed away from the ship and he ends up just floating off into space?
Yeah.
They find him and bring him back to life. And so it's the random side character who gets murdered, that Hal murders early on in the book.
Okay.
They bring him back. And he's in what is basically a holodeck with this lady. And they're getting pretty close. And she's like, we should probably have consensual sex. And he's like, I am totally down for this. And so he takes off his pants and he's circumcised. And she's like, oh my God, you've been mutilated. I can't even look at it. So he can't, every time he has to warn people that he's the victim of genital mutilation. And I was like,
wow.
What a
progressive.
What a unique choice to just throw that. I don't know where that came from. It's in here somewhere. Oh, maybe that's what she's going back to be like. What would it be like 100 years in the future? Maybe people are hotter. I don't know. Maybe you're a 4 and I think you're an 8.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go find the other 8s. Okay. She goes, I need to bury Earth, see Earth, bury Will, mourn for a while. And I just need time. And if I can come back, if you're still interested. And he goes, oh, yeah, I think there's a good chance of that. She never comes back. She never comes back. She says, don't make promises life won't let you keep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take care, Stephen. This is when we come back. And it is Ivanova talking to Sheridan. And they've shown him the playpen because he's hanging out in the playpen now. They're like, Captain, we just got finished analyzing all the database on board the Copernicus. It took us a while to go through 100 years of entries, but it turns out she was telling the truth, which I think we kind of figured out by now. But this is the part where they're like, it lost 10% of its oxygen when it passed by that moon. And he's like, okay, well, that would have been caused by the thing coming on board. And she goes, exactly. But which is a thing we could have checked, honestly.
Oh. It didn't leave the moon because it didn't have anywhere to go because the shadow had not called it yet.
Right. That's what I mean. It didn't have anywhere to be.
Yeah.
So we could have checked that, honestly. We could have been like, oh, it went by the moon. And when it went by the moon, it lost 10% of its oxygen.
Did anything happen when it went by the moon?
And it changed trajectory. And then it changed trajectory. And it started acting like someone had gotten on the ship.
Yeah.
That would have been so easy to check, but it's fine. Because when it left that sector, it was heading on a new course because the thing put in a new course. And it just didn't predict that that the programming of the pod to home in on signals would override the new course that it put in.
That means it passed by the moon within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Which means that moon is less than 2.5 light years from Babylon 5.
Yep. Correct.
Probably even closer because it would have had to start decelerating.
Yeah. And Dr. Sheridan is Dr. Sheridan. Works my mind. Sheridan is like, oh, okay. So you said the ship was programmed with a new destination. Well, where was it going? And Ivanova goes, it was headed for the rim, towards the place where Ambassador Jakar told us an ancient enemy was gathering their forces. And Sheridan goes, Zahadum? And she's like, yeah. Do you think it's a coincidence? And he goes, a few weeks ago, I probably would have said yes. But now, I don't think so. Which means he's smart enough to realize.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone keeps telling you a thing.
He's got that card tucked up his sleeve for later.
Something's going on, Commander, which means he could be playing dumb in council meetings.
Yeah.
And this is a thing that we mentioned when it happened. 3 people were in the room when Jakar said that he was sending that ship to Zahadum.
Mm-hmm.
Sheridan, Londo, and Jakar.
Yep.
Sheridan knows he didn't do it. He knows Jakar didn't do it, which means he fucking full well knows Londo would have been the one to rat it out.
And he probably would have implied something about that to Garibaldi. And that's why Garibaldi made the comment about Londo being in a deal with the devil.
I don't know. Something we're thinking about. Because he goes, between you and me, it's scaring the hell out of me. And then we cut to Jakar. And Jakar,
with a lot of candles.
Yeah, well,
Reading.
He's got a special dispensation.
The tomes.
He's reading the Book of Jaquan.
Yeah.
And there's a picture in it of the thing that they killed.
Yep.
Because Jaquan knew what was up. Jaquan's not even a religious guy. Jaquan was literally like, give me a piece of paper and a pen. I got to write this shit down so we don't forget it. And then over time, he's become a religious icon.
Right. And it kind of reminds me of the Foundation series.
Yeah.
Where they turned their whole model for how to run their shit into a religion. Because a formalized religion would persist longer.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And so Jaquan may have
As
realized,
long as you can keep people from altering your books, you're good to go. Yeah.
And so Jaquan was maybe more of like a historian, anthropologist.
Yeah.
But he's like, the only way to make sure this information survives is to turn it into a religion and have part of that religion be whenever you copy the text, you copy it exactly.
Yeah. I think that's a good headcanon, actually, because there's an episode later, which way later, where we're exploring the legacy of the characters in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things they do is create like religious icons out of each of the characters so that their knowledge and their information will be protected and persist.
Until the next time the shadows show up.
So I think, yeah, absolutely. Actually, by that point, but it's fine. I'm not going to, nope. I almost did a spoiler. So I'm going to leave it right there, actually. This was an episode that happened. It occurred. It's fine. It's fine. You know what's funny? Season 1 kind of starts off a little rocky, and I sort of forgot that season 2 starts off a little rocky too. Not rocky necessarily, but like you can see the filler.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like by the end of season 1, we were careening so full force forward that the filler sort of started to feel like a relief.
By the end of season 1, there was not much filler.
Right. And now we're back to some filler, and it's like, but also not filler, because each episode has a kernel of what you need to move to the next section.
And I think that's more of the pattern we're going to have is every episode has a couple pieces of critical information that add to the accumulating plot.
In my mind, this one always sort of gets slotted in with Soul Hunter, where it's like, thing arrives, mysterious ship arrives carrying important information / death. And in the end, we succeed, but we learn things.
Right. But this kind of vindicates Jakar's assertion about Zahadum in the mind of Sheridan.
I think so.
Because now Sheridan has a lot more confidence that something important, something relevant is actually happening at Zahadum.
Evidence is mounting.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, you can no longer ignore it.
And we see Sheridan paying attention.
Yeah, which I think is good. It's an important moment. Yeah. So I think that's a good place to leave it. I don't think we have anything else to say.
Nope.
If you like our podcasts, you can find us on strangeandbeautiful.network. We have loads of them. For some reason, Come In 81 Kilo is just like chugging along over there. Like crazy. Normally I would expect a podcast that we haven't worked on in that long to just have periods of time where there's no downloads at all.
Yeah, like the Dune stuff.
That's not what's happening, even a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So, I mean, if you're enjoying Come In 81 Kilo, I'm happy for you. If it helped you find Forever Night, I'm even more happy for you. So, we live for the one.
We would die for the one.
Until next time, friends.
Bye.
Yeah.
So where was it going?
It was heading for the rim. Toward the exact place where Ambassador Jakar told us an ancient enemy was gathering its forces.
Zahadum.
You think it's a coincidence?
A few weeks ago, I probably would have said yes. But now, no. Something's going on, Commander.
I know. Between you and me, it's scaring the hell out of me.